it's still unclear whether the country will indeed heed that call not to go to work and school and take part in today's national shutdown. This comes after calls for mass protests due to rising food and fuel prices that have been circulating on social media. So taxi associations have distanced themselves from those demonstrations. Our reporter Malungelo Booi is in Rosebank for us this morning, trying to get us a sense of exactly what's going on. Malu, what do you know so far?
Well, perhaps let me locate exactly where we are in Rosebank, Michelle. We're at the corner of Oxford and Jellicoe. And the reason why we're here is because it is in Rosebank where you'd find at least two main companies, that's fuel companies, that's BP and Total's offices are here. And it's those offices and other offices in other areas, including garage or fuel stations and the union buildings that have been cited as areas of possible protests. What we've been seeing here this morning so far, though, is that people are moving up and down. Some are going to work, some are going home from work, and the buses actually and the taxis that are moving here have actually been quite full. I've been in conversation with one or two people, Michelle, asking them whether they'll be taking part in this national shutdown or whether they are aware of it. Some people have actually said that they are aware of the shutdown, but, well, they're going to work because they can't afford, essentially, to miss a day's work, because what that would mean then is that they lose income. And, of course, others are saying that, well, will have to wait, really, and see, as the sun rises, if anything will happen in the communities where they are. But, Michelle, I think it is important, though, to note that what we're currently seeing in the country is also happening in other parts of the world. In fact, this week, the World Bank warning, really, developing countries like South Africa that what we're currently seeing actually is going to get worse because of what is taking place in Ukraine and in Russia. Michelle?
Malu, at this stage, are we any clearer who's actually behind the calls for a national shutdown? We know that Santaco has said its members are not part of the national shutdown. COSATU says its 17 affiliated unions are also not part of the shutdown if indeed it does go ahead. So who's behind it?
It's really unclear, Michelle, even on social media. I mean, you see these few people that are calling for the shutdown, but they're having so much following. And I was just going through, through it this morning on Twitter, just looking at the activity. If you go on Twitter, you would see that the national shutdown is the top trend, at least here in Johannesburg. So it's really, you could tell that, Michelle, it is people that are actually talking about it on social media. But of course, people can talk about it on social media. That does not necessarily mean it will translate to anything on the ground. I must also say that, Michelle, that we know organizations like Operation Dudula have also essentially distanced themselves from taking part in this national shutdown. I was talking to some of their members, in fact, in Soweto last night, saying that what they'll be doing, in fact, they'll be making sure that they protect the infrastructure from any, vandals that may be taking place today.
Yeah, the National Joint Operations and Intelligence Structure also saying that it's prepared. Measures are in place to deal with any potential protests as a result of this national shutdown. Malungelo Booi, live to us there from Rosebank. Thanks very much indeed for that update.